Hello students, hope everything is well with you and your family. So again we are here with our history chapter number 12, the constitution and the preamble. So in our previous class we read about the constitution, the role of the constituent assembly, and the preamble and the source of the constitution. So let us start today with the nature of the state. So first, the word that comes here is sovereign, means the complete independence, okay, having the highest power of being completely independent, okay, it means that. So what does it mean? It means that India is an independent country which is completely free from any foreign control, okay, and no outsider can interfere in our personal matters of the country, of our country, okay. Then come the socialist. Now what does this word mean? Socialist means social democrat or reformer, okay. So let us see what's written here. So the term was added to preamble in 1976 42nd Amendment Act to promote socialism in India, and it involves fair distribution of the country's wealth, means irrespective of caste, creed and status, all the wealth should be equally distributed among every individual, okay. So this is the main motto of the socialist term, okay. Come to the next one, secular. Now what does secular mean? I'm sure you have heard this before also. So secular means not having any connection with any religion, okay. So the term, again this term was also added to the preamble in 1976, okay. A secular state, when we there are certain points here, okay. Let us see when we can say that yes, a state is secular. So first of all, it does not have any official or state religion. It should not have any state religion, okay. Then there should not be any discrimination against any religion, okay. Does not favor or promote any particular religion, okay. Or guarantees the freedom of every individual to profess, practice and propagate his or her own religion. So these are the certain points which a state needs to follow in order to make the state, or the country rather, to call it a secular country, okay. There should not be any discrimination based on the religion, okay. Suppose in West Bengal only, we can see that here not only the Hindus live, but in West Bengal we can see various kind of religions, caste and creeds are here. So it's a secular state. And in India also there are different kinds of religion like Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, then Christian, okay, etc. Means Jainism, etc. Okay, so all of us are living here in the single country without promoting, without supporting only one religion, okay. We accepted all the religion equally, okay. So that is the point of secularism. I hope this much is clear. Now come to the next one, republic. Now what does the word republic mean? So the simple meaning of republic is a government having a chief of state who is not a monarch. Monarch means king, okay, and who in modern times is usually a president. So we are in our country also we don't have any monarch, we have president. So a republic is a state where the head is elected official, not a monarch or a dictator, okay. India has an elected head of a state, the president, as I told you, and the president has a fixed term of 5 years and the post is not hereditary. Now president will stay for 5 years, okay. But what does the word hereditary mean? Hereditary means, like, for example, if I become a president, okay, then my future generation will also become the president. No, it is not the case. Okay, it is not hereditary. Okay, means anybody from the common man's can become a president. Okay, but that person should be elected by the commoners like us. Okay, no, not by us. Okay, the president is elected by the elected members of both the house of the parliament and the elected members of the legislative assemblies of states and the union territories of Delhi and Pondicherry. Okay, so next term is democratic. Now democratic means self-governing or autonomous. Okay, so let us see what is there in democratic. So India has the right to select or elect a government of their own choice. Yes, and a democratic government means which always should think about the people's comfort first. Okay, so here it is written government of the people, by the people and for the people. Alright, now come to the next one, the objectives of constitution. Now what should be objective means what? Goal. So what should be the goal of a constitution? So first of all, justice. There should be means all the citizens are equal in the eyes of law. Okay, and justice should be given to everyone irrespective of birth, creed, race, caste, sex, status or religion. Okay, every individual will get whatever he or she deserves. Okay, then comes the liberty means every Indian citizen shall enjoy the fundamental rights. Previous day I told you about the fundamental duties of the citizen, but fundamental rights are also there, such as freedom to think. So you are free to think anything. Okay, you are free to think according to your wish. You are free to express yourself. You are free to follow the religion of your choice. Okay, there is no interference, there is no foundation that you have to follow this particular thing. No, you are free to do anything. Equality, as I told you, all citizens are equal before the law and there should not be any discrimination among people. Okay, between people on the basis of place of birth, sex, caste, creed, race, religion or wealth. Okay, so fraternity means brotherhood, kinship, you can say, sometimes fellowship and companionship. So a democracy can work only if there is a spirit of brotherhood. Okay, and oneness means if there is a unity among different sections of society. This is aimed at removing social barriers between Indians and belonging to different communities. Okay, we should not forget this, that firstly we are Indian. Okay, we should not ever forget it. Okay, when this feeling of being one people is promoted and firmly established, social evils such as untouchability and communalism can be removed. Okay, and we can live in peace and harmony will prevail and the country will progress. Okay, towards this goal of securing justice, liberty and equality for all as citizens. So here we end this chapter. I hope all of you have understood this chapter. So we finished our UT1 syllabus. So go through the chapter and see and read the chapter thoroughly. Okay, so thank you.